Okay guys, so what we'll do is we'll continue with the string functions. So last session we were going through certain functions. I told you about the len and then I told you about the upper and lower functions. So we'll continue from there onwards. So last I told you one small example. What was that? I told you that strings are immutable. So once you create a string, we cannot modify the string value. So what happens here when I use the upper and lower functions? So please let us just have a look. So I am saying s1 dot lower. So this string will get converted into a lowercase, but the original string will never change. The original string value is never going to change. So what I have to do for that is I can reassign the value like this. If I want to change the original string, I can give like this. So I will say s1 is equal to s1 dot lower. So what it will do? The current value of f1 will be converted into a lowercase and then it will again go take the string and store it inside this variable. So like this, if I do it, then yes, the code will have an effect. See now, see Java is printing in lower cases. So same way here, when I'm going to say s2 is equal to s2 dot upper, then my original string is going to change. Otherwise, simply by saying s2 dot upper, the string will not change. So this is one very important point what you have to remember. Right. So strings are immutable. That remains same. That is not going to change at all. Right. Okay. So moving on to the next function. So what I had the function len. Then I told you about the function upper, lower. Okay. What is the next function that I can go about? Let me just take you through that. So one, there you go. Second, I will share you all these codes. Yes, ma. சொல்லுமா, what is the doubt ரா? சொல்லுடா. Okay. So the next function, what I'm going to go through is a function which is called as capitalize. So the name of the function is capitalize. So what do you mean by this capitalize function? So capitalize function is used to convert the first character of the string to an uppercase. So what it will do is only the first character. So remember this very carefully. Only the first character of a string will be converted into an uppercase. Say for example, I'm having a string like this. So I'm saying s1 is equal to welcome to Python. This is my string, right? Now I'm saying print s1 dot capitalize. So before that, let us print s1. How it is getting printed? I'll print that also, and then I will print the s1 dot capitalize. Now run this program. See what happens. Only the first character of the string will be converted into an uppercase letter. That is the function capitalize. Okay, if my string is already in uppercase, then the code will have no effect. Capitalize function will not have any effect at all. Why? Because it is used to capitalize only the starting character. The starting character is already there in a capital letter. So my string is not going to have any, sorry about the spelling here. Okay, the string is not going to have any value at all. Now, in case if my string is like this, welcome to, if my string is like this, then when I use the capitalize function, see what will happen. the entire string will get converted into a lowercase except the first character. The first character alone will be in capital letters. All the rest of the string, okay, all the rest of the characters will be converted into an lowercase letter. See the difference? This is my original string. When I use capitalize, what is happening? So capitalize is a function. Whenever you are creating a string, if you are calling the capitalize function, then other than the first character, all the remaining thing will be in smaller case letter. Only the first character will be in uppercase. So that is the usage of this particular function, which is called as capitalize. Right. So there you go. Okay, so I added that function also. Next function. Next function is a function which is called as center. And the reason for this function is it is an used for alignment purpose. So this function is a function which is used for alignment. So for aligning my text, I will be making use of this function. Say for example, okay, say for example, I am having my string here as Python. Only Python, nothing else. So this is my string. Now, when I print S1, what it is going to print? It is going to print the string. Right, it is just going to print the string. Now, see what I am doing. I am using the center function. So, inside of the center function, what is that I am saying is, I can pass some values to my center function. What is the value is, first I am saying 30, comma, I am giving a star. I am giving a star symbol. Okay, see what happens when I run my code. Then you will see the difference. What is the purpose of it? See, so 30 is my number of characters. So I am saying the total width. Okay, the total width, that is the total number of characters, is to be taken as 30. So in that, center alignment. See, for example, if you're having a Word document like this. Okay, so I am typing something. Say I am saying Python. Then I am going to go and make this as a center alignment. So what will happen? This side all space will be there. This side also all space will be there. In between, my string will be sitting. My letter will be there. So this is used for what purpose? Alignment purpose. So this is what I am doing here also. This is what I am doing here also. I am taking the total width as 30. Okay, so I am saying 30 characters can be given here. In that, what I am going to display? Only Python. Python consists of how many characters? It consists of only 6 characters. So out of 30, I am making use of only 6 characters. So it will put whatever is your string, that will be given in the center, and on both the sides, on the left side and on the right side, whatever character you are giving here, that character will be padded. It will be padded with that particular character. Anything you want, you can give. Suppose if I am giving a hash, run this. See what happens. My net is little slow today. I'm sorry about that. I'll go with an offline compiler today. So this, I'm just going to use it for the notes. For typing in my notes, I'll make use of this. Right. So it is used for the alignment purpose. And see the result of it. Let me run this code.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma.
ma'am, Kavya is waiting in lobby, ma'am.
நான் மீட்டிங் ரூம் லாக்கே பண்ணலையே அப்புறம் ஏன் அலோ பண்ணல ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம் வரேன் And I the pace solo kudada. Right? Okay. See guys, see whatever symbol you are giving, center. So total 30 characters. Whatever is your string, that will be in the center on all the both the sides. For the remaining characters, it will be padded with your special character, whatever you are giving here. Suppose, look here, I am giving only 5. I am giving here as 5. My string itself is of 6 characters, but I am saying the alignment only for 5 characters. So, upper in this scenario, what is going to happen? This center function will have no effect on my code at all. So, always remember, when your string length is more than the characters width you are specifying, then this function will have no effect at all. See, when I run this, say what happens. It is simply printing only Python. It is not padding. It is not doing anything. Why? Because the length of the string is more than the width I am specifying. So remember the point. If the length of the string is lesser, then this function will have an effect. So the function will have two parameters, two values. First one you will specify the width. The second one you will specify the characters that you have to pad with, that you want on either side. Right. In case if your string length is more, this function will work. In case if the width what you are specifying is lesser than the length, then the function will not work at all. Okay, that is point number 1. Point number 2, what you have to understand is in case if I am not giving the character. Now if I am running it like this, see what happens. See what happens. Space. By default, it will be taking a space. So this side also space will be there. This side also the space will be there. But space is not visible for us. This side space I can see. Why? Because after leaving this gap only the string will start printing. So I can understand blank spaces is here. But on the right side, the blank spaces I will not be visible. So that is the reason why I showed you with the character. With the character. So with the character means you can see very well that on both the sides you are having the padding is actually done for us. So this is how your center function be working. Okay, so center is a function that is used purely for the alignment purpose. So nothing else special in that function. We are going to make use of it only for the purpose of alignment. Right. So then moving on to the next string function. The next string function, what I have is a function that is called as count. The name of the function is count. So what is this count function? So remember the count function is used to count the number of times a word. Okay, you can use it for a word or a character. A character is getting repeated. So what is the purpose of this function? This function is used to count the number of times a particular word or a single character, whichever way you want, you can use it. So you can search a word, you can search for a character also. So how many times that particular character is being repeated inside my string. So that is given with the help of my count function. Say for example, here I am saying Python is a tool language. Okay, it is very easy to learn Python. Python is the best. So this is my string. So my string consists of one big letters, one big sentence. So the sentence says that Python is cool. It's very easy to learn Python and Python is the best. This is my string. Okay, now I'm going to make use of the count function. See, in the count function, I am saying first I am checking how many times the character. a single character, how many times the character O is getting repeated. So here 1 time, here 2 times. So 2 plus 1, 3. Then say where else? 4, then 5, then 6. So like that, it will count how many times this particular character is being repeated in this string. So how will you use it? S1, which is my string, dot count of, you will specify the counting character, whichever character you want to count, say at the same time. See, I told you, sorry guys, I told you two things. You can use the count function for a single character. Also, you can use the count function for a word itself. So here I'm saying Python. So how many times Python is getting repeated? The word Python, how many times it is getting repeated? So I want both. So let us run this. See what it says. So O is getting repeated 6 times. So you can count and check whether it is giving you properly. Then it says Python. The word Python is repeated 3 times. Yes, correct. Now 1, again 2, again. So this is how the working of my count function will be doing. Remember, this count function is very, very important. For lot of logics, you will be making use of this function. Right. Now, what will happen when you are asking to count a character which is not there? Say I am saying print S1 dot count of, I am saying Z. Is this character present anywhere inside my string? No. Z is not at all there. So remember, the count function is going to return the value as 0. So when you run this piece of code, see what is the output you're going to get? For O, yes, it is present, so it will give a value. For Python, yes, it is present, so it is going to give a value. But for Z, it is going to give the number as 0. Why 0? Because that particular character is not present inside my string. It is not at all available inside my string. So that is why you are getting the output as 0. Right. So this is the usage of my count function. So this is how I will be making use of the count function. Right. So moving on to the next, moving on to the next example of the functions. I'm going to start. Yeah. I'm going to see two more important functions. That is starts with and ends with. So I have two more functions which is called as starts with, ends with. So remember these two functions. These two functions are a Boolean function. What do you mean by a Boolean function? It is going to return a true or false value. It is simply going to say a true or false value. So what is the starts with? Starts with is used to check. It is used to check whether the given string, whether the whether the string is starting with the specified value. So I have a string. I want to check whether the string is starting with the character. Whatever character I am giving here, I want to know whether the string is starting with the character or not. So for that, I will be making use of the function called as starts with. And same way ends with, as the name suggests, whether the string is ending with the specified value or not. So as I said, Boolean function. So it is going to just give the value either true or right. Say for example. Okay, let us take a small example for that also. So now all these things are not needed. So let us keep a short string. Right. So this is my string value. Python is a cool language. Now, what is that I'm doing? I'm using the function called as starts with. Right. So I'm going to say s1 dot starts with, okay, Python. I am checking whether the particular string starting character, the starting value, the starting of the string is Python or not. If I run this, See what is my output going to be? See, it says true. I said it's a Boolean function, so it is going to return only true or false value. So this function is going to return the value as true. Right. Now, see here. Here also I have given Python, but how is that I have given here? This is a P starting in lowercase, but my string, the P is starting in an uppercase. When you run this, see how your program is going to be. It is going to give the value false because the starting character is not matching. So remember, that is what your starts with is going to do. Case sensitive. It is case sensitive. It has to exactly start. Like what you have given here, the exact characters must be matching. Then only it will return the value as true. Otherwise, it is going to give the value as false only. Okay, now let me run this also. See, not just the full word. You can even check the single character also. Right, either the complete word or you can check for a single character also. Just check whether the starting character is matching or not. Now, see for the ends with. So again, I'm saying print yes1 dot. So what is the function I'm going to be using now? Ends with. So ends with. What is that I'm checking? Whether the string is ending with language. Whether the string is ending with the word language. Right. Ends with only I have written, right? Okay. Now when I run this, see the output is going to give me the false. See what it says? It gives me false. Why it gives false? What is the ending character here? Language is there, but then it is having a dot also. So as an exact match. The ending character should be exact. So if I give a dot here, then if I run this, now it will say yes. Yes, the value is true. See? So this is the usage of the starts with and ends with function. Boolean function is used to check whether the starting of the string is same as the character you're mentioning and the ending of the string is same as the specified character. That is the purpose of these two functions. Right. Moving on to the next function. Right. So moving on to the next function, what is that I have? Yes. I have a function that is called as two functions. We are going to discuss two functions here, or rather to say four functions. Find, okay, index, then rfind and rindex. So what are the functions? Find function, index function, rfind, rindex. So all these four functions are one way or the other related to each other. They are connected with each other. Let us see how it is going to work. First, what is the purpose of the find function? What is the purpose of my find function? Find function is used to find the index value of the specified character. Specified character. So what is the index position of one particular character? I want to know the index number. So how to do that? I will be making use of the find function. So what is the usage of the find function? It is used to find the index value or the index number, index position, however you want to call it, index position of a specified character. That is the purpose of my find function. Okay, let us do one more thing. So it will return the index value of the specified character, but what it will do? First occurrence, remember this. It will always give first occurrence value. Suppose. What do you mean by this? Let us give. Okay, let us take a string. So here, oh, let us take the character O. The character O is repeated one time, two time, three time. So three times this particular character O is getting repeated. Now, when I make use of the find function, so when I am saying find, what I want to find? I want to find the index of the character. What is the index position of the character? Likewise, I want to know what is the index position. Okay, what is the index position of the character L? Okay, so since O character is repeated multiple times, which index position it will give? Only the first occurrence index position. So first time, where is this character O is going to come? It will return that index position value only. So same way, first time where the L is coming. So L is also repeated 2 times. But capital L, case sensitive. Remember, capital L is there only 1 time. So this is the index position it is going to give me. Run this piece of code. See what happens. See, it is giving me index value as 4. So now check it up. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is giving me this index position only. That is the usage of my find function. So remember, what is the find function going to do? It is going to give me the index number of the first occurrence of the character. Right, let me copy this. Okay, let me copy this. I'll place it here. Now, what is the next function is, I am going to tell you. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the index function. Index function also is going to do the same work. It is also going to do the 100% same work. So then, why am I having two different functions? See here, same thing. Okay, let me do with the index function. Copy this. Okay, so add a print so that you will get an empty space in between. Now, instead of find, use index. Here also, what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the index function. Run this code. Run this code. See what it does. Is there any difference in my output? It is exactly the same. So, index function and the find function, both the function, what is the usage of it? It is going to give me the first occurrence of the character. That is the first occurrence of the character's index position. Right. Then, why I have two different functions to do the same work? Why am I having two different functions to do the same work? There should be some difference, right? Yes, there is a difference. What is the difference is, I am giving a statement like this. See, S1 dot find of Z. Same way, I am saying instead of find here, I am making use of the index function. Okay, I am giving the same piece of code both the places. Now when I run this, see the difference in output. See the difference in the output. When I am running with the index function, see what is the value it is giving. It is saying -1. So remember, the character that you are going to search for, okay, the character for which you want to find the index value, if the specified character, is not available, if it is not available, then my find function will return -1. So that is the difference here. So when the specified character is not available, okay, if it is character itself is not there, then what index position you will give? Nothing. So the find function will return a number called as -1. So -1 means what? The character is not there. But see what is the index function doing? Index function is throwing me an error. But find function is not giving me any errors. It is just giving me -1. But my index function is generating an error for me. When it comes to the index function, it will generate an error for me. And what error that is? That is a value error. So we call that as a value error. So if the specified character is not available, then your index function, what it is going to do? It is going to throw an error. So this is what happens with the index. So the difference between the find function and the index function. This is a difference. Even though both the functions are going to do the same work, this is the difference that you will be finding. Right. Now coming to the R find and R index. This is also used to find the index value. This function is also used to find the index value. Now, what is the difference? Instead of the first occurrence, it will give the index value of the last occurrence. Instead of the first occurrence of the character, it will give the index value of the last occurrence. Last time when the character is being repeated in my string. Again, R index also going to do the same work. R index is also going to do the same work. That is also going to return the last occurrence for me. This function is also going to return the last occurrence. But again, the difference is the same. R index will throw an error if the character is not there. R find will give you the value as -1. So this is what these four functions are going to be doing for me. So let us see a small example for that also. Right. So let me close this. So what is the, there you go. This is for the index and find function. For the R index, see here what I am doing. I am saying R. I am saying here also R. Here also R. Same way, R find, R index. Now run this. So here, last time when is the O getting repeated? This is the first occurrence. This is the second occurrence. This is the third occurrence. So index position of this. This is the last occurrence. So whatever is the index position of this, that will be returned by the R find function. Same way, when I say for L, L is coming only one time. So if you write find also, it will give you this index only. If you write R find also, it is going to give you the same index because it is going to happen only one time. It is available only one time. So first time also this only, last time also this character only. Z not available, so you will be getting as -1. Right, let us run this. See now, it is giving you the character as O is 14. So if Z is not there, so -1. But here it is going to throw you an error. Here index R index is going to throw you an error. This is the basic difference between find, index, R find, R index. Right. There you go. Okay. So now what is the next? These four functions. Right. The next function. The next functions is a series of function. All those are Boolean functions. Next, we are going to discuss a series of Boolean functions. So, is alpha, is digit, is alnum, is upper, is lower. So, understand one thing, all the functions, okay, all the functions that is starting with the character is, all those are Boolean functions. All those are 100% Boolean functions. That is, the result is always true or false. It is always going to say either true or false. All these functions are Boolean functions. Okay, now first function. Sorry, first function what we have. First function what I'm going to tell you is a function which is called as is alpha. Alpha means what? Alphabet. Alpha represents alphabet. So this function is used to test or used to check whether the string consists of only alphabets. Only alphabets. So this function will return true if my string consists only of alphabets. So same way, the other function, what is digit? Is digit is a function that is used to check whether the string consists of only numbers. Only numbers. Right. Then I have a function called as is alnum. Alnum means what? Alnum means, sorry, alphabets plus numbers. So the string can be either alphabets or numbers or both, a combination of both. So that is what your al-num function is going to be doing. So is upper. What is the is upper function going to do? It is going to check whether the string is in uppercase. Is in uppercase, and same way the is lower function is used to check whether the string is in lowercase. Whether the string is in lowercase. So all these are what we call as a Boolean functions. So the result of it is always going to be a true or false value. So let us check it up. Okay, so let us have a check at all those examples. Right. So again, guys, these functions, okay, these 4 5 functions, what I'm telling you, you will be using this a lot in your logics again. Whenever you're doing any programs based on strings, these functions are the ones which you will be making use of to write the coding. So that is why these functions are very, very important. Say, for example, I am saying yes1 is equal to, that's it. I'm giving my name as a string. Now, what is that I'm going to check? I am saying print, okay, yes1 dot is alpha. Is it an alphabet? Right. So now when you run this piece of code, see what is the output you're going to be getting? True. Yes, it consists of only alphabets. Nothing else is there. So, is alpha is going to give you the value as true. It is going to give you the value as true. Now, check this out. I am saying yes2 is equal to Anusha space yes. Now, I am using the same function. I'm going to make use of the same function. So, here I am going to say is yes2. yes2 dot is alpha. Now, this is a string. This consists of all alphabets. All are alphabets. A, N, U, S, H, Y, A. Yes is also an alphabet. Uppercase, lowercase does not matter. Is alpha function will check whether it is an alphabet or not. Case is not a problem. It can be in uppercase also. It can be in lowercase also. But for this particular string, it is going to give the result as false. Why false? Because you are having a space in between. Space is present in between. That is not allowed. It should consist of only alphabets. It should consist of only alphabets. Space is not an alphabet. Space is here. So because of that, this is going to give you the result as false. Now, see here. I am saying S3. So S3 is equal to, I am creating a string ANU 1083. Now again, you are going to check. Is this alpha? Is this alpha? Obviously not. So obviously not. So this is going to give you the result as false. Why false? Why false? Because it contains digits or numbers, which is not allowed. Is alpha means only alphabet. So same way here, let us take another example. So here I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm saying, is this alpha? Again, why false? Because it does not contain any alphabet at all. It is not having any alphabet at all. Only digits are there. So obviously it is not an is alpha is going to give me the result as false. Run this program. Let us check the outputs. See what it says. True, false, false. So this is how is alpha function is going to be working for me. So please remember, this is how my is alpha function will be working. Only if it is an alphabet. So if it contains spaces or any other special characters, not allowed. If it contains numbers, not allowed. If it has only numbers also, it is not allowed. Okay, now what is the next function I told you? There is a function called as isDigit. IsDigit means what? It should be numbers. So the first one is false because this does not have any numbers. This is having only alphabets. Okay, now have a look at this. This also is going to be false because space is not a number. Space is not a number. So it should have only numbers. No space, no hyphen, no nothing. No other special characters must be there. This is also false. This is also false. The third one is also false. Why? Because it contains alphabets. Because it contains alphabets. Alphabet is not a digit. Right. So this function is also going to give false because it contains alphabet. It should have only numbers, nothing else. Now this one is going to say true. So when you say is digit, then it is going to say true. Yes, this is only digits. This is only numbers. Only numbers are here. So it is going to say that as true. Run this. See, only the last one is true. All the remaining things is. So this is how my is digit function is going to be. Right. Okay, guys. So I will just wrap up the session till here. So again, tomorrow we will be continuing with the rest of the functions. We have a few more functions that we will complete it tomorrow.